For the longest time, I thought that exposing myself to certain environments, certain challenges are going to, make me expand my consciousness. I would be able to see through life. I would become this, I would become that. And I already had a notion of how things are going to turn out, okay? And hear me out, because from here it gets really interesting. I had all the plan layout on a table, that how I am going to look, how I'm going to sound, what the process will be, how things are going to turn out for me if I do this, if I do that. And there was only and only label attached, and there was everything I was doing for a certain outcome. And I thought that exposing myself to certain situations or doing things just for the outcome, just to say that, yes, I have done that, yes, I have arrived here, is going to change my consciousness. I'm going to become some powerful girl, or Powerpuff Girl or something like that. But all this time, I was so wrong. Let me just be clear. When I tell that expanding my consciousness, I'm only talking about being more aware of things. Because the most number of times I've been there out in the public, I have done most stupidest things ever, and I've been in a situation alone. And when I was recalling every moment, I found that I was such a dumb. I just gave myself as a starter meal, which has no value, just for the time pass. It's there. And there is something called main course people are always looking forward to. So I don't know if I'm going to always be there for them. I don't know if I'm going to be of any value to them. And from here, I have learned to be more aware, because this situation, this contemplation in itself was only the truest thing happening inside me, in all the deeper layers of me, and not those practices which I have been doing just to achieve a certain outcome. So the biggest lesson about awareness, or raising your consciousness in a very practical manner, if I have to lay out, I will say that it is not about the quantity, it is about the quality. And when I tell about it is about quality, it always means the contemplation you have gone through in the deeper layer of your skin, in the deeper layer of your body, in the deeper layer in each and every organ. It has stung you. You have been, no, there's a vibration, there's a lingering effect on of that incident on you, which is compelling you to look deeper. And that is the main thing which is going to expand your way out, expand your consciousness, make you something, give you a transformation, and not the things which you go after. And we call it the quantitative approach, because it is only the quantity, there is no substance to it. And when the substance of the very being is absent, it is not touching your deeper layers. And consciousness awareness only lies on the deeper layers. And that is why we meditate, because we want to arrive on that deeper layer of our being. So if any incident, if anything in your life is not, you are just doing it for the sake of routine, as in we call the rat race thing, where we go out just to have that some money on a plate, just a robot mode, just doing it because it's a routine, you're not arriving anywhere. You are just surviving. In every process, in every timetable, in every routine you follow, if there is no substance which touches your soul, which touches your being deep inside, I think there is no expansion. It is just the robotic mode that's happening. Because at the end of the day, you never arrive, but you're always thriving to be there. And when there is an actual thriving, you grow, you learn. And that is how your awareness, your consciousness expands. But if there is no thriving in the process, and it's just for, the another checklist, a tick mark, at the end of the day it is not going to matter. Because if it really did, the greatest of the greatest enlightenment, sorry, the enlightened beings out there have achieved things in simplicity, in the uh, substance, in the manner where they are able to absorb things, imbibe the power, imbibe the divinity, imbibe every vibration of a mantra, imbibe every emotion in them, and then contemplate through it, then sit through it. But in today's era, we are not able to even sit through angry thought. We always want to react on the stimulus of the anger thing. We want to react. So if we are not actually holding ourselves back, and if we are not actually figuring out the root of the cause, we are not arriving, we are not realizing, and we are simply giving out all the vitality, all the vital energy we have. If we try to hold back and contemplate that why, what, and the root cause of every human reaction or interaction which was not pleasant, even which was pleasant, we will understand our nature. And if we are able to understand our own self, which we never do, we die, but we never understand ourselves. And that is where the suffering comes. And that is why, with a certain pattern, you are born, and you hate yourself for doing such things, but you are stuck in that pattern because you have never tried to understand yourself, even in the first place. How you are going to improve the relationship with others, right? So, at the end of the day, it is all about contemplating, absorbing, feeling, doing things which carry a substance, not doing things in a robotic mode, and being aware of every situation, everything. And awareness only can be developed if you do things for not for the sake of doing it, but for the sake of absorbing the experience in you. And this is where I was totally wrong, where I was only counting numbers and not and because when I was recalling the incidents, I only had a checklist. Yes, ye hua, this happened, this happened. Yes, I was able to achieve this. Where's the quality, where's the substance? I did not feel anything about anything. Even when I did marry, it was all about where do I spend money, how the food will taste, how I'm gonna do my dance, impress people, do the decor, everything. And there was, when I sit in silence to recall the most soul, you know, the soul touching moments, I find none. And that is life we all live in today. And then we complain about we are not able to sit in meditation, we are not able to sit in silence, there is nothing like awareness, unable to expand consciousness. So actually this is the real problem, and this needs to, we need to go to the root of it. And this needs a good contemplation time, a good time to look into. That is not going to feel very good, But at the same time, not everything is about feeling good. Something needs to looked upon in a more deeper manner beyond the emotions, because the truth lies in there. If you go beyond emotions just for the substance of it, not naming it as good or bad, I think the truth, the root, the happiness, the substance lies in there, which needs to be imbibed and which needs to be absorbed. I hope you liked my video. And if you did, this is my first video on this channel. Usually, I have a second channel which is in Hindi, because English is not my first language, but I do read and write in this language, even sometimes think in this language. I hope my video reaches more number of you to a wider audience, and I'll be more active here. And if you did find any substance in this video or any point that actually touched you, please leave a comment. I'm always waiting to interact with you guys. Till then, take care. Bye.